Okay, so thank you very much for joining us for this second interview that we have. Today we are with Yangli Githuka, and Yangli Githuka is going to tell us all about his career trajectory. If this is the first time you're watching this series, my name is Paul Career, and I'm very passionate about getting young people to learn the ropes of making the transition from campus to career. That's the name of this series. And today with Yangli, we will be exploring his very dramatic change in career and moving
Yeah.
from one extreme to another, and he's going to tell us his journey along the way. And the purpose for this series of talks is so that you can come to the realization that no one career path is the standard. There is no such thing as a standard career path. Your career path will be tailored and developed in line with your interests, your background, your strengths. And of course, our objective really is to try and make sure that you get the most out of your all your background and your interests, so that you can have the kind of impact your career you want your career to have. And so Youngly is such an illustrative example of how he responded to his passions and his interests, and how he departed from what could have, what most would ordinarily think of like this is the right career for most people to succeed in. And he's succeeding in something that is completely different. So, without much further ado, I'd like to invite Youngly to just say hi and just tell us a little bit about himself and what he loves to do today. Go on.
I thank you, Paul. Thank you so much for the opportunity. I'm privileged to talk to my fellow young Gen Zs, if I may say, about how life is like when it comes to transitioning from campus to career. And if I may start with a brief background of myself, I come from career-wise, I come from a legal background. I undertook a 4 year degree program at Strathmore University. And once I finished my fourth year, I I tried to pursue law further by working at my uncles and grandparents' law firm, at our family law firm. And from that, after working for about 3 months and being very unsatisfied with the work, I decided to do the one thing that I knew I could do most, and I transitioned into fitness because I love lifting weights, I love spending hours in the gym, and yeah, so I basically changed my career path from a legal career to a fitness career, and that is where I am currently at, happy and thriving, if I may say. And yeah, so
Um,
that in a small box, that's me.
Amazing, amazing. So your story is one of going from a legal training. You did a degree in law, you worked a bit, and then you went into fitness. And in fitness,
Yeah,
you've been working as an entrepreneur. Now, that is dramatic. I don't
yeah.
see that much. And today, what I want to do is to explore that career trajectory. So let's maybe start off by your current situation. What's your work
Okay.
like? What drives you in the work that you do right now?
My impact. Because I always say, being a trainer, being a personal trainer, or being a coach is literally one of the best jobs in the world because one, you get to have very positive impacts among people's health, and people's health is heavily tied to their well-being. So by positively influencing people's health in a positive direction, we also being an important part of their well-being, of their daily life and well-being. And also you get to also be fit and healthy at the same time, yeah, while working. So it's a job that not only improves your clients, it also improves you. So for me, the biggest takeaway when it comes to my work is the kind of impact that I have. Like I've niched into rehabilitation. I'm a corrective exercise and rehabilitation coach. And for me specifically, clients coming with pain, and me helping them transition from a life of living with daily pain, whether it's lower back pain, shoulder pain, and helping them achieve and live a happier, pain-free life that is also healthier. I mean, I I sleep better at night when I know I have achieved this. So it is an impact for me.
Great. And here's a fun fact.
Yeah.
If you're listening, the way that I met with Yangli was actually he helped me out in the gym. So he took me through a couple of months
Yeah.
of personal coaching. And I
Yeah.
must say I was so impressed by the way you had a very detailed program and the way we worked through it week by week. And the way you are available, we would show up at the gym at 5 in the morning. And to tell you
Oh
the truth,
yeah.
I don't enjoy fitness. If it were
Eh?
up to me, I wish I could do this. I should get a machine that would help me work out. But you made it fun, you
Ah,
made it engaging, and you really took care
yeah.
of me as a client. So I really enjoyed that.
Ah,
So thank you for that.
yeah.
Now
It was a
let's
privilege
let's
working with you.
let's sort of drill down into you've talked about impact. And I really like that you brought that up. I see a lot of organizations talk about impact and how important impact is.
Mm,
And for you, you've brought that out as a very important attribute career wise. So, talk to us a little bit more about impact. Like, there are opportunities for people to go into careers where they make a lot of money, like law. Like,
mm,
if you
mm.
look at lawyers who have succeeded in their work, they make a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, don't you think they also have an impact? To talk to us a little bit about your thinking about law
Ah,
and
yeah.
fitness and impact. Can you blend the three together and just help us understand why didn't you
All right.
think of law as a place where you could have impact?
First of all, I think impact should be the one thing that we chase in our work for us to be able to enjoy work long enough to make a lot of money, to be so good at our work to make money. So this is the kind of thinking that I have. I want to make a lot of money. I'm not gonna lie. I love money. We all love money. Is a good thing. It is not a bad thing. And I think we need to remove that mentality that money is evil or money is belongs only to the specific class. Money affects everything that is important in our lives. But when you choose money as the main character that you are always waking up every day to work for, it's not gonna be very rewarding, or you're not going to be able to do things when you don't feel like it. I've had a personal experience with this through the mentorship circles that I've been. When I chose that I'm going to earn X amount of money, I, I only did it for the short while. I was only briefly motivated. And then after a while, I didn't care. I didn't care about good service. I didn't care about good customer service. I didn't care about how well I serve my people. Yeah. But when I changed my mindset from, hey, yes, I want to make a lot of money, but I want to have, I want to serve the best as possible as I can towards my client. When I made that mindset shift, I actually was happier working with clients and actually even got more money than I expected because when you provide such a good service to somebody, that other person feels obligated to literally throw all the money towards you. And this is
Mm,
something that my mentor has told me
mm,
personally, and it is so true. I'd use a perfect example. It's like your local mama fua, yeah?
mhm,
Mama fua comes, does an amazing job, washes the clothes, even washes things that you didn't even tell her to wash. Does a superb job. You're gonna feel that obligation to actually give her more and more and more and more. And that's the thing with people who want to have more money in their careers is you have to understand that it is a relationship of giving and taking. For you to get more money, you have to give more service. And the moment we understand that, I think money doesn't become a problem. Yeah. So same as lawyers, I think lawyers who make a lot of money in a way that is sustainable and long term are lawyers whose main goal is to serve their clients as best as they could. That way, it's actually a long game. You can find I'm working as a lawyer for 20, 30 plus years. But if I chose money as my immediate goal, I'm going to sacrifice on my principles of how, because it's going to be just about getting money. And yes, I will get that money because that is my focus, but it will be only in the short term. I may breach certain ethical principles that are there, or might do things that are not necessarily right by the client in the chase of money. So yeah, and I
That's
think this is
amazing.
something that yeah,
Yeah, it's really amazing because what you're saying is you should choose your career path for your low points. What can you do in your low points? What are the things you can do when money is not necessarily available? What are the things that you
mm,
can do with a mindset of service? And those are the
hmm,
two key points. I'm hearing you say that money is fine. In fact, money is a reward. Money is an
yeah,
indicator that you're successful at what you're doing, that what you're doing is having
yeah,
impact, but that impact is about service. So, and that's the right way to approach a career.
mm,
Am I understanding you
mm.
correctly?
It is the right way. Yeah, even Nani argues that there's this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon
Hmm.
Hill. I think I told you about it.
Hmm. Hmm.
He basically tells people how to make as much money as they want, and his one rule is determine what you're willing to give in order to receive the X amount of
Hmm.
money that you want to earn. So, service, what are you willing to give that is of equal or even greater value than the money that you're asking? And I think once you figure that out, I think the world is your oyster. And that service is always related to our gift. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I was watching Steve Harvey yesterday,
Hmm.
and he was telling people to choose their gifts. He asked people, find out what it is that you do best with the least amount of effort. What is that one thing you're so good at compared to other people with the least amount of effort? So for you, it can be coding. For me, it can be lifting weights. Another person can be singing, painting, massage. It literally can be anything. So once we identify our gift, and once we know how this gift can be of service to other people, then I think you can make as much money as you want and also be
Yeah,
happy at the same time.
yeah, yeah. You really don't want to be
Yeah.
in a situation where you're very wealthy, but you don't have the energy to sustain the
Oh,
activities.
yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Sustainability. If you choose money
Sustainability.
as the immediate goal, my lord, you're going to burn out. You're going to
Yeah.
crash.
Oh
You will
my.
get
Oh
it.
my.
You will get it because that is what your subconscious and your conscious is focusing. But it's not going to last for a very long
Mm,
time. Mm.
mm.
And
Now
I've
here's the
been there.
thing.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So here's my question to you. So you've told us that you made this giant transition. You did your 4-year degree. We're going to drill down into that. And then you said, hey, look, this is not working out for me. I don't feel like I'm being who I am. Can you? So I want to understand two things, and we'll go through them one by one. So the first thing I want to understand is I'd like you to you can zoom into that transition point. Like you made a decision like this is going nowhere, like in the lead up to that decision, can you walk us through your emotional experience of saying I've had enough to then making that transition?
Yeah, it did happen in an instant. It was as a result of everyday unhappiness and low point in my life for 3 months. I am so grateful for my uncle for giving me the opportunity to work at his law firm. But waking up for those 3 months was it was hard. I lacked the drive, the determination. So it was compounding. It was the compounding effect of every day going to the office, trying to read submissions, trying to put in your best foot forward. And then one morning after that 3 months, I was like, this is not what I want to do. Let me go back home. Let me start over again. So I think I was 24 years after working after I didn't even finish my I didn't even manage to graduate from my university when I jumped into the work life. And I'm actually glad because I didn't live in the life long after my university because many people end up finishing university, finding jobs that they're not fulfilled at, and working for years before they actually get the courage to stop what they are doing and get off the wrong train. So for me, after 3 months of working, of compounding effects of daily unhappiness, daily lack of fulfillment, daily lack of drive, lack of determination. I didn't have even any vision to in regards to what I wanted to do with my legal background. And I just called it quits after 3 months because I was really tired. So I went back home, started afresh. It's like
Wow.
and I asked myself, myself, what is it that I've actually been loved? I loved doing without the least amount of effort. And that's just being in the gym.
Mm,
And then now from there it was a light bulb moment. I was like, oh, so I love being in the gym. I love lifting weights. I love looking big and buff. What can I choose in that career that in that path? I can be
mm,
a coach. I can teach others how to do this. And for me, I had no idea how many doors it will open, of how much opportunity it will unlock. I just decided, let me be a coach because I can spend more time in the gym. And then after that, things just went on I went on figuring things out, going to school for fitness, studying, and yeah, I mean, yeah, life is a series of experiments. At least
mhm.
that has been for me. Yeah.
So I have two follow-up questions about that. Right
Mm.
now, do you feel more in charge with where your career is going as
Oh
opposed
yeah.
to
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
okay.
Most
Okay.
definitely. Man, I have ambitions like no one else. Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, it's me trying to really find out how am I going to achieve this? How am I going to achieve this? So yeah, I definitely feel more in charge.
That's
And
amazing.
yeah,
Go on, go on, go on, go on. Sorry, go on. Sorry
and
to
and
interrupt you.
and I don't need somebody telling me, you should do more out of your job or do more out of your life. You should be more because that's naturally inside me. That determination and ambition to actually achieve this and achieve this and achieve this is actually there. And I feel
Mm,
myself wanting to be the best version of myself, be the best in my career, have the most impact that I can do, make the most money out of my work. And yeah, definitely feel like I'm in charge of the train. Yeah.
you have a vision.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. In fact, it's now trying to hone into one vision, trying not to be distracted by many things, because now that's also can also be a bad thing when you're chasing a career and you're just everywhere. Just choose a niche that you can hone in and be really good. Now that's where mentors come in. They tell
Yeah.
you this is what you've decided to do. This is what you love. This is what you're going to focus on for years and years until you become an expert in that. Yeah.
Now, in that time where this experience of this compounding discomfort with the legal profession,
Hmm.
when you're going through that whole situation, I'm just trying to imagine because I have seen other people who they're not excelling, they're not doing well, but they
Mm.
have this sort of support group around them who are trying to cheer them on and causing dissonance, making them doubt themselves. Okay, so what I'm curious about is in this build up towards saying this, I've had enough of this. I'm sure there are people around you who are saying, just put in a little bit more effort. Why don't you come in a bit earlier? Why don't you read this? Did you have that sort of dissonance around you?
Well, during my previous career and my current career,
Previous, before you made the
yes,
transition.
yes, yes. That came from my uncle. Now, the guy who brought me into his law firm, he always went every morning. He was like, "Why don't you read this case file? Why don't you analyze this submission for me?" I literally had to be told everything that I was supposed to do. I was a donkey that is being forced to drink water. I was a proverbial donkey trying to be forced to drink water in the river. Yeah, that was me then. Because everything felt just like hard work, and I didn't want to. And that was just basically my mind communicating to me that this is not what I was meant to do. Man, he
Mm.
would beg me to read a submission. He would, and I would read it, but I wouldn't read it with an open, with a heart. And I
Mhm.
do things in a mediocre way. Right now, it's different. I have to be the one. I put pressure on myself. I have to read, and I'm not perfect. That's why you
Mhm.
really need mentors to keep you online on doing taking little habits that advance in your career. But actually, now the problem is not that I whether or not I feel like reading is I have too many books to read, and I wish that I have 5 brains to read. A whole
That is
shelf of books
astonishing.
behind me. Yeah, I have a whole shelf of books behind me that I want to get to it because there's so much I want to do, but it feels like I have so little time. So the problems are now different. I still have problems, yes, but better problems than my previous career. So
You
now
know
it
what?
feels like I have too little
Yeah.
time to do everything that I want to do in pursuance of my career and of my work.
I really like that because to me it shines a light
Mm,
on how inspiration is such a powerful force in how we show up. You know,
yeah.
someone who is not inspired, like for example, if you put me to teach Swahili class, for example, I'm not saying that
Mm.
I don't absolutely hate Swahili class. There are other things I absolutely hate,
Yeah.
but I won't shine. I will just
Uh,
not shine. But then there are
yeah.
other things where I shine so brightly. In other words, your inspiration is such a major part of your excellence and how your intelligence is harnessed. That on the one hand, you're this person who has to be you have to be beaten, to get things done. You have to be told everything to do.
Mm.
If I would never have known that side of you if it was not for the fact that you're
Oh
telling us now.
my. I was a cabbage, man. I was a cabbage. And even when you're doing things that you're passionate about, there are moments where you don't want to be inspired. I'm sure you've also experienced
Yeah.
this. Even in the pursuits of our gifts and our talents and our passions, there are days where you just don't want to show up and you just go there half-assed, 50%. Now, can you imagine feeling that in something that you're not even meant to do? I cannot. I'm not always stoked to go at 5 a.m. to see my clients. Hey, yeah, mom, I'm so happy. But it gives me so much fulfillment at the end of the session, even though
Mm,
not all sessions always feel like, yeah, yeah.
mm.
So I cannot imagine working at a job that I didn't like. That feeling is I think it's just hell, living hell. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Can I just maybe even let's amp it up. Imagine if
Mm,
you're in that low job and you're making a
mm.
lot of money.
That that is why you self sabotage now. That
Mm,
is why you self sabotage, and I'm sure that money you make it, yes, but one, you'll be burned out and very unhappy, or two,
mm.
you wouldn't be doing a good service to people. You'll just be trying to make money desperately, trying to feed that unhappiness inside you. Yeah.
True, true. Now, so we've talked about what you're currently doing. You've talked about for you, it's all about impact. But that impact is all about service. Like impact and service are two sides of the same coin. That you're not trying to be profitable or successful. Your success is impact, but at the same time, you use the example of the mama fua and how your heart just goes out to her when she does a good job. And you want the
Mm,
same thing in yourself. You've also talked
mm,
about the transition and in that how you made the move, that build-up of sort of like a disappointment and disillusionment with the kind of work that it was, and how you had this crowd of people are cheering on you to do the wrong thing. But I want to go back to the beginning because it's a good place to always zero in on. And that is when the seeds of what you're doing now were sown. Can you, as far back as you can, when did those seeds get sown? The seeds of you enjoying fitness? Like, what did those look like? Was it that you watched a movie on karate or something? Where did that come
Yeah.
from?
I think it's a family thing, you see. There are those things where you find members of your family, your grandparents, your parents, they just love doing, and naturally it goes by all the children. It can be cooking. You can find you grandparents that loved cooking. For me, I think it comes from my grandfather. He's very fit guy. He's around 78, but I think I told you this. He has a 40-year-old body, very fit,
What?
loves to walk, loves Tai Chi, loves yoga. Man is so fit and healthy. I think it came from him. And for me, it started by simply running to school. I I just I just loved running to school whenever the bus didn't come to our place to pick us. So I ran day one. It was very high. I remember that day I puked my guts out. The first day of running to school, I was in class seven. Ah, the next day I did it again. It was still very hard. I went up every day, just a little bit of run. I'd run to school and then walk. I ran halfway, walk halfway, run halfway, walk halfway. I did that and it got better. It got easier. The path didn't
Mm.
get shorter, but my body just adapted and I became leaner. My legs are all muscular. I remember I was very proud looking one day waking up. I'm like, oh, these legs look kind of good. They look kind of. I used to have those runners' legs, so the process got easier, and I started loving it. You know, I started loving it. Continued from class seven, went to class eight. Now continued loving, and then once I finished my primary, I went to the gym. I found myself in the gym because I wanted to sort of get back into doing something that is physically demanding. I loved that physical exertion. And I know it sounds very strange, especially to people such as you who have tied your identity to I don't love fitness, I don't love but I loved the hustle of sweating and panting and lifting something heavy and putting it down and getting better and better and better at it. So in high school I went to in high school, I did boxing and weight training. Boxing, but I think I was just loving it just to feel like I can punch somebody. But what I really stuck on was weightlifting, training, lifting weights basically. So lifting weights, and then it's tomorrow you look, I look a bit bigger, I look better, I look stronger. And from high school, that is when I started doing a lot of my own research on how to lift,
Mm.
how to do a deadlift, how to do a squat. A lot of these things, execution, ways to
Mhm.
execute exercise, a lot of self-taught. You find yourself spending hours and hours and hours teaching yourself how to do things. And if you do it long enough, you actually become kind of good at it. Yeah.
Mhm.
So self-trained in high school how to lift weights. Still loved it. I remember I used it for lectures, especially for my afternoon lectures when I was doing my law degree because I was in the gym. I was spending 2, 3 hours a day in the gym, just lifting and grinding. So this gift or this passion of mine of lifting weights, it still haunted me even when I was doing my law degree. Yeah. Because I'd find myself working out as opposed to being going to school and studying. It is only now that I wish in hindsight that I had the courage to listen to what my heart was telling me. Instead of trying to do the status quo, everybody in our family is a lawyer, so I should be a lawyer. Instead of trying to think of I need a career that can actually make me money and I need to do something that is sure bet like law. so that I can be able to put food on my plate. I was thinking all the wrong things instead of
Mm,
thinking of how can I pursue my gift for my own benefit and
mm.
also. And then they just say there was a way they say God will sort how food would come to the plate. He actually does, and things actually work out. I didn't know I could
Mm.
be making money out of fitness, out of helping other people lift weights, out of helping other people build muscle, burn fat, and rehabilitate their injuries. I had no idea. All this was experiments, 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 and it's just easy to have the courage to
Yeah.
choose your gift, and then things will just figure themselves out. As long as you're just remaining true to what you do and trying to better yourself with your passions and better others, I think things work out for the end.
What you said reminds me of
Mm,
a guy called Daniel Priestley. He's written a book called
mm,
Entrepreneur Revolution. And that book is all about how, in our day and age, the fact that we have all this technology, and this is a thing that also baffles my mind. We have all this technology around us, such that everyone has something to contribute. We're no longer living in a world where you have to have these traditional careers of being a lawyer or an engineer or a doctor.
mm,
In fact,
mm,
all these
mm,
fields are being changed by technology and
mm.
things like artificial intelligence, which are just
Yeah,
completely shifting the landscape and changing
yeah.
how we work. And what you said there, you used the word haunting, uh, haunted. You said
Oh
you were,
yeah, it haunts you.
even as you're doing your law degree, there was all this evidence. I'm sure your classmates would have told you, hey, Yangli, isn't it better for you to just take that career path? But I'm sure everyone's still living in a mindset of you have to align with the way the economy works. You have to align with the traditional careers and how
Mm,
traditional careers
mm.
shape. But if you had just paid attention, if your family had just paid attention, if your friends had just paid attention, if you had just paid attention, all
Yeah.
the evidence was
Oh
right
my.
there before you.
I just needed the courage because I knew what I loved. It's the courage that I lacked because I was worried too much about the future. I was worried too much about following the status quo and following how the system works. But it's no longer working. There's so much influx of people in the labor market. We have more than thousands and thousands of people graduating every year looking for the same spots and choosing for the same job positions over and over. And there's so much evidence of being an oversupply of what the market actually needs when it comes to the doctors, nurses, accountants. All of these things is changing. The labor market is changing. We're no longer in an industrial revolution. We are in a tech revolution per se. And I think if going to school for 4 years and going out of the market and going into the market and finding no jobs, if the market is constantly telling you that, then I think we need to listen. I
Yeah.
think we need to stop thinking about how can we create more jobs to absorb the university students. And I think we need to ask ourselves, what natural gifts do we have, and what gaps are there in the market that if we linked those two, we'd actually create opportunity.
Mm,
And I think it just needs a whole lot of courage. And I
yeah.
think it helps for somebody like you having a conversation, having a space where people can hold this conversation and tell people who are out there trying to do degrees that are not their gifts and are not aligning to their passions to tell them it's okay. You won't sleep hungry. Even if you sleep hungry, it will be for a day or two. But it's okay. Better sleep hungry for a few days chasing your passions rather than work your entire life in something that the market does not want, or Even if the market wants, you're unhappy. You lack the good service that you need to give to people. So you see, you get to lose either way, whether you get a job or whether you don't get a job. So kind of
Yeah.
makes it bits against the point. Yeah.
I
I
want
wish we
to
asked, yeah.
sorry.
Sorry,
We
sorry.
should
I
go
wish
on.
I wish us as young people, specifically the Gen Zs, I wish we asked ourselves more, what gifts do I have to serve the world? If
Yeah.
you could just answer that, happier, much richer generation.
Now, what you said something that has got me sort of thinking about the risks. You know, you talked about courage.
Mm.
Whenever you say something needs courage, courage always appears in situations where there are risks. So, for example,
Oh yeah,
you know, if you're crossing a road, you need courage. Of course, the first time you cross
yeah,
the road, you'll be really panicked because you don't know what you're doing. As long as you're following the instruction you've been given, you know, you have to make sure this side is clear, that side is clear.
mm.
Don't run across, make sure there are no border board because the border board has come out of nowhere. But
Yeah,
crossing a road has risks, okay?
yeah.
And I'd like us to now talk about the risks. Like what you've done is pretty courageous. You to tell the tale. And it's great that we are having this conversation because you're actually telling us from the other side of the road how things look like.
It's it's not that bad. Yeah,
So I want you to tell us about when you talk about courage, tell us what your experience was once you made that decision. Of course, you had to confront maybe some negative feelings from family. We've invested so much in you. We've given you so many opportunities. If other people had these opportunities, they would not be where you are. I'm sure you had all those repercussions against you. Talk to us about the initial and then the gradual. For example, not knowing where your clients will come from. Like let's spend some time exploring those risks that have taken you into where you are right now. And then later on, we're going to talk about like the future. What's your vision? Where do you think you're going? So let's start off by talking about courage and the risks and how those have actually manifested in your progression into your career.
I now that you mention it, for me, I didn't get any backlash or any negativity from my parents and my grandparents when I decided to choose fitness because even them, they saw, our parents see, they're not blind, they see every day young people struggling for jobs. So they saw that, hey, out here, there isn't so much opportunity that there is. So they just let me do what I do because it was already clear that people are struggling with normal conventional jobs that people once you finish your university you get to. So they saw what was happening. So they just let me be, and I'm glad they let me do that. And this is something that I'd really try and tell our parents is let your kids experiment with your lives because we do not live in the you guys. We live in a completely different labor market, completely different economy. So let them experiment because, as you're saying, for me, the courage is simply it's a whole it's taking a risk. You don't know what's going to happen next. I did never in my mind will I have thought that 2 years later, just 2 years, that we are going to be having a seat and having this conversation. So the thing I'd really say about courage is go figure it out as it goes along. You want to cross that road, your mind sees problems left and right. Your mind sees, oh, I may not be able to pay rent, that's a car coming to hit you. Oh, I may not be successful at what I'm doing, that's another car trying to hit you. And yes, still you will not see the finish there, the other side of the road. And I think that's how life's meant to be lived. trying to go a certain path, experimenting in a path that you feel this is what you want to do, and then letting life figure itself out as you go, as you go, as you go, as you go. So you're not going to have it figured it out. And funny thing is, my law degree ended up working in my favor because at the moment I'm a fitness educator too. I teach students the legal and ethical issues when it comes to fitness because there are legal and ethical matters that emanate in the fitness industry. So I went back to the school that I learned, and I actually became a teacher there. So I help other
Oh wow.
students who want to become fitness professionals and obtain a diploma in fitness science to because that is one of the units that I'm undertaking because of my legal background. I never thought that law is gonna be coming handy in that way. I never know. So in a way, it wasn't a waste those 4 years trying learning all the legalese that I could. So
Okay.
to sum it up, is it's experiments. You're
Mm,
mixing portion A, portion B, portion C, and hoping for the best. And if it doesn't work, we put portion C and D and E, and yeah, it's literally an experiment. So just
mm.
let it. Yeah.
So here's another way to frame that question. I want to also now try and tease out more about this courage.
Mm,
And let me preface it by telling you a story about there's a time
mm.
I was staying in a hostel. I was staying in a hostel which was very comfortable. It was very expensive, but they gave us really nice food. But I began to notice that this nice food was now beginning to affect my waistline, and I couldn't fit in a lot of my clothes. So I made a
Uh,
plan that I was going to move out of this hostel. And so I gave notice, I found a place, and I did actually move out. But when I moved out to the new place where I was staying, there was a problem with the house. I woke up in the morning and there was a problem with the house. And I remember the first thought that came to mind was, I'm going back. I'm going back to where I was before
back to
because
your
it
comfort
was
zone.
comfortable. It was comfortable. It
Yeah.
sort of worked.
Yeah.
It had its problems. I hadn't really thought about solving those problems, but I thought I can go back. Let me go back. Fortunately,
Uh,
when I tried to call that hostel, the person in charge didn't answer the phone, and somehow we managed to resolve the issues that
mm,
in my new accommodation. And I use that as a question to you. When you made this transition and you said, okay, hey, look, legal education, I'm done. And then you jump now into your coach training, fitness training. Did you at any point encounter challenges that were so big that you said, maybe I'll go back"?
mm, no, no. To be honest, no. I just loved. I was living in the moment. I just loved working as a coach and even studying that fitness science. There was a time once I finished my diploma, I didn't have a job, so I was just waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. I think that was the lowest point before I actually got an opportunity to work as a coach at a gym. I spent a few months back home. I'm like, okay, I quit law. I've done my diploma in fitness. I've done what I wanted. Now what? I'm not getting any job offers. I'm not getting any opportunity. But I had this hope that things are gonna work out. So I think that that passion that you have, that gift that you have so much hope that especially when you get started, because I
Mm,
already got started by finishing that diploma. I had so much hopes and so much dreams for how positive the future is going to be that I didn't really have time to really think, oh shit, I have to I have to change my careers. I made a mistake. Because now my mind was sort of in a light bulb moments all over, all over, all over. I can do this. I can do this. And then thank God, I got an opportunity, and then once I accepted that opportunity, things just went up growing and growing and growing and growing.
Wow.
And when I compare my kind of growth compared to the ones people have after finishing a degree, mine was exponential. Yeah. Because where I've reached, I feel like it's only taken 2, 3 years, but I feel like I've been working in this industry for so long. But when I look in
Wow.
reality, it's literally just 2 years, two, three
Wow.
years, less than 3 years, and I feel there's so much growth that I've already achieved, and there's so much more that I actually want to do. So I think once we start really doing what we were meant to do, a sea of opportunity literally ambushes us, and we're so busy trying to grow that we even don't realize how much far we've come. Sometimes I need to take a break. I'm like, 3 years ago, I didn't have a job. I was still living in my parents' house, in my parents' house back at home. I didn't have my own place. I didn't have my own table, my own office desk, my own computer. I didn't have any of this. And when
Wow.
I take that, I'm like, oh wow, I've actually grown. And yeah, so I think our hopes and our desires and our dreams, once we start doing what we are meant to do, they outshine our doubts and fears and how scared we are in if what you're trying to do doesn't happen. And you relentlessly find solutions to problems. You see, when I was working at the law firm, whenever I had a problem, I didn't even want to solve it. Whenever I had a
Mm.
submission that I've been asked to research on and come up with a case law, I felt burdened. I don't want to do this. My mind doesn't want to do this. But now, give me a problem because this is the thing that I love. I'm gonna tell you, hey, we have solution. Hey, you can do this. You can do this. You can read this book. You can try this new way of solving this and tackling this because
Mm. It
my
is.
neurons literally spark up and my emotions get excited whenever I am faced with a challenge or a problem. And I think if we start by solving problems by curiosity and happiness
Mm.
and that vigorness that you want to solve it, I think you find more solutions faster than compared to the latter. Yeah.
So that's amazing because what it implies is that people actually deteriorate when they go down the wrong path. It's not even that they stagnate. Stagnate is one thing.
Mm.
Like, stagnate means you stay at this level. But if you're in an
I had an
environment,
argument that's not possible. Like
uh-huh.
it's either we are growing or we are going down.
Yes, yes.
I think it's called the second law of it's atrophy. I think it's the second law
And
of
entropy, the second law of thermodynamics.
entropy. Sorry, yeah. We literally don't stay the same. It's either you're growing slowly but surely, or you deteriorating. All right, but carry on,
A
carry on.
hundred percent. Yes, exactly.
Mm,
And that
mm.
that really scares me. In fact, if anything, that is a very strong reason why people should get out of the wrong job now. Like, they should hand in
Mm.
the resignation today. It doesn't, you don't even have to know where you're going. Just have to stop
You don't.
doing what because if
It's
you keep
not
on
meant
doing
to.
the yes, if you keep on doing
Life
the
isn't
wrong
meant.
thing, you never move forward. You're actually moving back because you're not
You're
using your
moving
skills.
down.
You're not using your
Yeah,
mind. You're not using your abilities. Wow, that is powerful stuff. Now,
yeah,
let's sort of also drill down into something here. One of the things I've tried to do through this series of talks is also highlight to young people about certain behaviors that they need to have. So in one of the previous sessions, we talked about the three behaviors that you need to have in to excel in your workplace. And I know that, like, now that you work as a personal coach, as a fitness coach, you are dealing with people directly. You're dealing with people's bodies, like on a
yeah.
daily basis. You're trying to help them. Hey, look,
Mm.
this is not the right movement. But even that professional interaction is always going to be coated with certain attitudes. There's certain attitudes you need to have. And I'd like to know, what would you say are some of the most important attitudes you need to have for you to present yourself well so that your business can actually have the kind of impact that you talked about? What are those attitudes and behaviors that you have observed are really critical that make you stand out in your
Mm.
practice compared to other coaches who are now having the same attitude that you had in your legal profession, but in fitness?
Wow. I mean, that is really that's a really good question because that is the one thing that I struggled with, and that's why I required a mentor when I first started out because I realized that for my business to be successful, I have to develop myself and I have to develop certain qualities that will make my clients want to work with me and retain me. So one first thing is even before talking about the characters and the habits and the attitudes that we need to take, I think the first thing is what do you want? What is your drive? There's this saying here. I think I have it. This book I'm reading. Let me see whether I can. Let me see whether I can find it. Oh yeah, it's by a guy called Stephen Covey. He says, before you begin scrambling up the ladder of success, make sure that it is leaning against the right building. So
Which book is that?
it's
Is that
it's
the Seven
it's
Habits?
that frog. No, no, it's
Ah,
that
Eat
frog
That Frog.
by Brian Tracy. It's a book that
Brian
I'm
Tracy.
that
Yeah.
I'm currently on. Yeah, it's how to stop procrastinating and whatnot. But basically, is what is your drive? Finding out your why. Because if you don't even have a strong why, no amount of consistency, discipline, good character, hygiene, it won't matter because it'll all feel like it will all be for the short term. So
Mm.
if I knew this 1 year ago, at the beginning of this year, I think I would have been much further. What is it that you want to achieve? What is your drive? What is your purpose? What is it that you
Mm.
want to do? Once you know that, now that's why we can start talking about things like discipline, consistency, charisma. But none of that matters if you don't know what it is. If you're not working towards a purpose or
Mm.
or a drive, not just a goal. A goal basically helps us achieve our purpose. But what is it that you actually want? So I think I think let me quote again. Let me get this quote again from this book because I was reading this morning and I found myself reading it for a while. Uh, a definiteness of purpose, the knowledge
Mhm.
of what one wants, and a burning desire to achieve it. I think we should tell people get that far. Get a
Mm.
definiteness of purpose. Once you have
Would
that,
mhm.
you can set goals now.
Would you
Once
call that
I
a
know for
mission?
me, yes, like a mission, exactly. Are you going to the battlefield? You just trying to make it to Friday, or do you have a specific mission that you want to achieve, an objective? And this mission is not 1 month mission, 2 months, it's long term.
Your
When you look
lifetime.
10, 20 years plus, yes, 10, 20 years plus, what is our, is it that? And it's okay, it can change, it's okay. Like for me currently, I my one of my main mission or one of the things that I desire is to build a business or to create a brand that helps people get out of pain and be able to live a pain-free life because too many people are in pain in our modern days. I
Mm.
am in love with rehabilitation and corrective exercise and actually being the one that actually solves that pain. Once I have that, because I'm deeply passionate about helping people live a pain-free, move better, move pain-free, and basically live the best version of their life from a physical point of view. Yeah.
Mm.
Once I have that, now I have my goals. I need to be consistent. I need to study. I want to pursue a physiotherapy course as one of my major things that I want to do. I want to become a doctor of physical therapy. I want to become a strength coach who specializes in a strength specialist or strength training coach who specialized in physical therapy. And you see, because I have a definiteness of purpose, now everything can align. Now I know I need to be
Mm.
consistent in my plans. I need to have some sort of system that makes sure I'm disciplined and everything basically. Because we all know we need hard work. These are not new characters. You need hard work. You need discipline. You need consistency. You need to show up even when you don't feel like it. But we all focus on the qualities that are required to achieve our definiteness of purpose without focusing on actually getting a definiteness of purpose in the first
Mm.
place so that everything can
Mm.
align. So that is what I want. That is what I can say. Just that. Just know what it is that you want and have a burning desire to achieve it. That's it.
I think what I'm observing from how you've described your whole experience of moving from, your campus experience into your early part of your career and now where you are right now. What I think that really, really stands out, and you've illustrated this very well, is how if you are in the right place, fruitfulness is natural. It's just
Mm,
natural. It's like if you plant
yeah.
an orange tree, if you plant an orange tree in the desert, it will struggle. You will struggle to
Yeah.
water it. You will struggle
Oh
to
my
give it.
God. And it won't give you apples.
No,
And you
it
see,
won't.
if I had a definiteness of purpose at the beginning of the year, I wouldn't struggle so much with procrastination. I wouldn't struggle so much with discipline. I wouldn't struggle so much with consistency because we are all just trying to make it to Friday. And that is such a wrong mentality.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those things kick in. Believe me, you will find yourself waking up at 4 a.m. actually motivated to do the thing that you want to do because you have that definiteness of purpose and you've written it down. And
What you're
if
saying,
I did this before,
yeah.
oh, yeah, I would have been much, much better, much ahead. Yeah.
What you're saying also very strongly resonates with my previous job, especially in the early days of my previous job. So I worked as a software developer at a
Mhm.
large research organization, and I was basically given free reign to do my work the way I wanted. And there's one thing that
Mm.
I remember telling, like the pastor of the church where we lived at the time, and I remember telling him, "Do you know what? I can't wait for Monday to go back to work." I literally couldn't wait. Like,
Yeah.
because I love it's like every week I
Yeah.
was learning something new. Because I was in a place where I had fulfillment, I could see growth, I enjoyed every minute. I could sit for hours, and it was obviously really bad for my health. Because I would literally sit
Eh.
for 8 hours in a day. The only disruption for me was my colleagues coming and saying, "Okay, let's go for lunch." But I could work for hours and hours because I was really in my sweet spot, And what you're saying is the same thing. Like you when you are in the right place, when you are in the position properly, and I guess it could be a lovely parting shot for those who are listening to us today. You need to find the right place for yourself, and you need to be paying attention. You need to have the courage. There's all these values you've talked about: courage, you've talked about service, you've talked about being attuned to what you've always loved. You need to be passionate, you
Mm.
need to have a sense of mission. Um, I hear all these very strongly coming through. Now let's sort of look forward into your future, and I'm really curious. I'm really curious about what do you what do you see, let's say in the next 10, 15, 20, 25 years? You're still a very young person, you haven't even hit 30.
Oh yeah.
What what do you predict, forecast, expect to achieve out of your career?
Oof. Uh, One, as I said, impact is very big for me, especially with the niche that I've chosen, becoming a doctor physical therapist and a strength coach. So basically marrying exercise and helping people move better and move pain-free because that is the plague that is actually affecting us. I mean, you just said it. You were sitting for hours on end, which was probably not the best thing for your health. But so I'm looking to actually help as much as possible when it comes to the problems that people have within their bodies that limits them with proper movement. I'm passionate about movement. I'm passionate about the science behind exercise, and I'm passionate about helping people move their body the way they are supposed to. So my vision, that is the one thing that I can say I would say that I will have lived a very fulfilled life. They could have as much impact to as many people as possible by helping them become stronger within their bodies, move better as the way they were meant to be naturally, and not be in pain. That is the one thing that I can say. Nitasema nimefika. If I die, I like, yeah, I did what I really loved. Yeah, because I have had to live with knee pain because of excessive training back in the gym. These are things that I didn't know. I didn't get to appreciate the science behind exercise. I didn't get to appreciate that exercise can be used as a way to help people move better, live pain free. So through my own experiences, through struggling with knee pain, and which is not very fun, not very good even for your mental health because it's always this thing nagging. I'm sure you know about that. Every time you're
Mm,
sitting, you got this pain. So if I help people be the best version of themselves physically, which automatically transmits to mentally, which also transmits to financially, I
mm.
think I'll be really happy. Yeah, yeah.
And in your part, I'd like you to think back to the young man who you are maybe 25 or something years ago when you're about to embark on your law training. What advice would you give him?
Mm, get off the wrong train.
Get on the wrong train.
Ah, if I could go back to 2017, that's 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Mhm.
Because I applied exercise science as my third degree. You see that option, that third option that people choose whenever they're applying to university. That is what you are meant to do because that is the one thing that you're scared of and you're pushing it away.
Pick the
I
third
put law
option.
as my yeah. I put law as my first option, and I think what did I put something to do with finance. I don't even remember. I wish I took that time to really figure out my gift. I'd say get off the train if you're already on boarded. If you already boarded the wrong train, and take time to figure out what is your gift. Those two
Mm.
things. If you've already started like, in first year, in second year, doing something that you don't really feel, it's okay, stop, quit. The world is not ending tomorrow, well, hopefully, but the world is not ending tomorrow, and you have the whole time, your whole life ahead of you. So if I can just burn 1 to 2 years to guarantee me a much more fulfilled, much more happier, much more successful life financially, then that is a very small price to pay because we don't think in the long term. We think, oh, I'm wasting my life. I'm wasting 1 year being out of campus, figuring out what I'm going to do. My life is gonna be over, but that 1 year is a fraction of what you are meant to live. If you're meant to live
Mm.
70 years plus, what is sacrificing 1, 2 years, even three, figuring out what is that you want? So I'd tell my younger self is if you're already on the wrong train, please get off as early as possible. And once you've gotten off, don't just stay there. Figure out what are your gifts? What is the one thing that you do with the least amount of resistance that you think can be able to serve me? Because I have to serve myself first before I can
Hmm.
serve anybody or the market, that can be able to serve me and improve me and better me from a point of happiness, from a point of financial success, emotional happiness, mental health, financial health. What is the one thing that I can do, that I do, that is my gift, that can help improve me and those around me? I
Hmm.
think once you already have that, you already literally just sat on the right train. Now your work is to just move as you're figuring things out. So that is the one thing that I tell myself, and I tell so many high schoolers out there.
I
Take your
like that. I
time.
really like that.
Don't rush to do degrees, because these degrees don't even have jobs in the market. Yeah, because they are not adapting. The syllabus is not adapting. The university system, the education system is not adapting to how fast the market is adapting, to how AI is changing. So stop struggling to go for a degree that might end up, even giving you a job, and you start doing odd jobs out here.
Mm.
Mm.
Amazing. Wow, it's been amazing talking to you, learning
Yeah,
from
thank
you,
you.
digging into your past, and just picking out all those important lessons. Um, and maybe we'll have another session where we could go into what does it take to actually structure your own business, because you've walked that road. You're
Oh,
walking that
yeah,
road. Yeah,
that's
yeah.
another thing.
That's another whole
Yeah,
story in and of itself.
oh my
But
God, yeah.
yeah, but thank you so much for your time. And if this is the first
Thank
time
you.
that you've attended one of these from campus to career, we try and keep things simple. Just we just have a conversation, and if you know someone who you'd love to hear about their career, and you can actually link us up with them, that would be great. If you would like your life to be profiled, then you're welcome to reach out to us. You could reach out to us through a YouTube where we will post this video. And thank you, Yangli. And I hope to see you guys next time for another video of From Campus to Career. Bye.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so, so much.